Well. It is official. Kylian Mbappé Lutin is leaving PSG. He's made it official. He's released it on all his major social media, Instagram, Twitter. I saw it on his Instagram. Literally logged in. First thing I saw, and I was like, I got to make some piece of content on it, whether it's a video, whether it's a live stream, something on it. But yeah, I've got the video here ready for anybody who has not seen it yet. And so, I mean, it's been inevitable. There's nothing. It's not. Nobody's surprised about this. It was just a matter of when would he announce it. PSG are playing their final. PSG are playing their final home game of the league this Sunday, and so if he was to go and get any sort of ovation or ceremony and whatnot, it'd be then. And so he therefore have to announce it then as well. So yeah, I mean, I've got the video here, so I'll play through it and give my takes, and I've already seen it already, but you'll be able to see everything that that goes on. Again, apologies, it's a pretty late stream. I had to do so on very short notice, but hopefully you guys can understand. And yeah, this is certainly one of I guess a day that felt inevitable for most PSG fans. You knew it was going to come at some point. You just didn't know when. It was a matter of when and not if. But I'm almost happy that now it's done. Now we can focus on the future. Everything's going to happen. There's nothing in me that's saying, oh, you're disappointed. I mean, we've known this for months now. It was just a matter of when would he communicate this officially. So I've got here my the official, well, his full reaction here. It's almost 4 minutes long. It's in French, but there are subtitles, so don't worry, guys. You guys will be able to to hear and when everything. But yeah, I mean, let me just go and look here. What's the comments here? Just finished watching it. People are saying, did Mbappe announce it? Yeah, he's announced it. Here's the video. I'll play through it. So has anybody here not seen it yet? Basically, how are you doing, Junior? Stuff. I mean, I'm not like nothing special. I'm just as I was normally. We already knew that he was leaving. He announced it to the players in the squad, everything around like so. Nothing. It's nothing surprising. It's just been when would he do it, and I guess it's gonna make news now. I mean, obviously, I mean it's that's the most likely thing that's gonna happen. Obviously, with him going to Real Madrid, so I guess he hasn't announced that he's going to Real yet. He's announced that that he's leaving PSG, and now most likely it's basically a formality now that it's a formality that he's going to be going and announcing that he's signing for Real Madrid. Junior, it's okay to be sad. I mean, the thing, like, as I said, I made my video about Mbappe and how I felt on him announcing and whatnot leaving the club well back. This was what, if I go like in like 2 months ago nearly. So from this point onwards, there's nothing. I'm not. You can't be say I'm not surprised. So I can't. If I know it's coming, there's nothing here that I can really go and say that I'm sad about it. It was just inevitable, and I was curious to see how it happens and what he was going to say. And I do have a lot to say about this, so don't worry. It's not just gonna be me basically saying that I already knew it's gonna happen this and the other. There are things that he said in his little speech or monologue here that I think are pretty interesting. So I'll let people pile in and I'll start playing the video afterwards. Can you play the video? I will play it. What time is it now? I'll play it at like 20. I'll give people a moment to get in and come join the stream and whatnot, and I'll start playing it because I'm not sure everybody. This is me getting it or getting set and ready as quickly as I possibly could. But yeah, I know there's still some people out there who still haven't had the opportunity or the chance to pile in the stream and see it. So I'll give them the opportunity to do so. It's on, as I said, it's on all of his social media. It's on his Twitter, Twitter and Instagram. I think is only two. The way man flocked live about this every game streams. Then it was here. Nah, it's fine. It's fine. There's the thing is though, there's a lot more people on the other stream. We're like at 143 people watching it on or like nearly 200 people watching it on the vertical stream. So there's plenty of people flocked here. All right, screw it. You know what? At this point, might as well rip the band. I'll start playing it. So here, Monsieur Kylian Mbappé Lotin, what do you have to say for yourself announcing his final departure, his final stint at PSG? Here's what the main man has to say. All right.
C'est Kylian. Voilà.
Let me know if you guys can hear it, though. Let me know if you guys can hear it. I've made sure that you guys should be able to hear it, but I just want confirmation that you guys can. We can hear it. Okay, that's good. All right, I'll play it from the start. I'll play everything, and then I'll come back to it afterwards, and I'll give my analysis on it. All right, here we go.
Salut à tous, c'est Kylian. Voilà, je voulais m'adresser à vous. Depuis le temps, j'avais toujours dit que j'allais m'adresser à vous quand le moment serait venu. Et donc, je voulais vous annoncer à tous que voilà, c'est ma dernière année au Paris Saint-Germain. Je ne vais pas prolonger et je vais terminer mon aventure dans quelques semaines. Je vais jouer mon dernier match au Parc des Princes dimanche. C'est beaucoup d'émotions, beaucoup d'années où j'ai eu la chance et l'immense honneur de faire partie du plus grand club de France, l'un des meilleurs du monde, qui m'a permis d'arriver ici, de connaître ma première expérience dans un club avec beaucoup de pression, de grandir comme joueur, bien sûr, en côtoyant certains qui étaient les meilleurs de l'histoire, certains des grands champions, de côtoyer pas mal de gens, de grandir en tant qu'homme aussi, avec toute la gloire et les erreurs que j'ai pu faire. Je voudrais remercier tout d'abord, bien sûr, les coéquipiers, l'ensemble des coéquipiers que j'ai eus, l'ensemble des entraîneurs, Unai Emery, Thomas Tuchel, Mauricio Pochettino, Christophe Galtier et Luis Enrique, les directeurs sportifs, Leonardo et Luis Campos, de m'avoir toujours accompagné, l'ensemble des gens au club, ceux que les gens ne voient pas, les gens de l'ombre, que ce soit les kinés, les intendants, les gens de la performance, tous les gens dans les bureaux, au campus, tout le monde. Parce que voilà, il y a des personnes qui sont formidables, qui donnent tout pour le club et elle mérite d'avoir cette reconnaissance. Malgré tout ce qui peut se passer en dehors, tout ce nuage médiatique qui entoure parfois le club, il y a vraiment des amoureux du club qui veulent défendre et faire briller ce club et ça fait plaisir. Et je sais qu'avec toutes ces personnes, ce club il est entre de bonnes mains. C'est difficile, difficile. Je ne pensais pas que ça allait être aussi dur d'annoncer ça, de quitter mon pays, la France, la Ligue 1, un championnat que j'ai toujours connu. Mais je pense que j'avais besoin de ça, un nouveau challenge après cette année. C'est difficile et bien sûr, il y a des gens que je voudrais remercier par-dessus tout, c'est les supporters. Je sais que je ne suis pas le joueur le plus démonstratif, je n'ai pas toujours
That's true.
Été à la hauteur de l'amour que vous m'avez donné pendant 7 ans, mais je n'ai jamais voulu tricher, j'ai toujours voulu être performant. Le PSG, c'est un club qui laisse personne indifférent. On peut aimer ou on peut détester, moi j'ai choisi de l'aimer et je l'ai fait pendant 7 ans, avec des hauts et des bas bien sûr, mais à aucun moment je regrette d'avoir signé dans ce club prestigieux. C'est un club que je vais garder dans ma mémoire toute ma vie. Je dirai à tout le monde toute ma vie que j'ai eu la chance de jouer ici et maintenant je ne serai plus un joueur et je vais continuer à regarder tous les matchs bien sûr parce que c'est un club qui va toujours m'intéresser et je vais toujours m'intéresser de près à l'actualité du club. C'était moi, avec mes qualités et mes défauts, mais j'ai essayé de donner la meilleure version de moi-même pendant ces 7 ans. Mais avant tout, je veux vous dire merci parce que sans vous, j'aurais pas pu vivre la moitié de toutes les émotions que j'ai vécues. Et juste pour ça, je suis reconnaissant à vie. Donc, merci à tous. J'espère qu'on va finir cette année avec un dernier trophée. On va passer des bons moments pour ce qui reste. Mais sachez que vous resterez pour mon cœur pour la vie. Ici, c'est Paris et au revoir.
And that's done. That's it. That's the 4 minutes. Mbappé officially announcing that he's leaving the Paris Saint-Germain. After 7 years, ups, downs, the adventure's officially over. There's a lot of things that I saw in that video that were really interesting. I guess for one, I'd say like overall the video, it's pretty like out of 10 if I had to rank it. It's like fine, pretty standard PR. Didn't say anything scandalous, didn't say anything. All right, so some things were a bit questionable, I will say, but everything he said there is what you'd expect him to go and say. And if I had to go and suspect what he would have said, it's exactly that. But two things that I really wanted to point out specifically was one, when he mentioned the fact that he's never been a very, I guess, emotive player. He's never been one to show his emotions, to be a demonstrative player. He's not. And what he meant by that, I don't know if it landed well in the English translation, but basically he was saying that like he's never been a player to, sort of be one who shows his emotions on the pitch for the club, kisses the badge, so on and so forth. He's mostly been, I'm here to do a job, and that's it. And that he feels at times, he recognized that at times the love that he got from the supporters was unworthy. He's unjustified. So that's interesting to see that he'd say that openly like that publicly. Whether he believes that or not, I mean, I don't know. Maybe some people will say, oh, it's just PR, it's PR. But at this point, for the benefit of I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, and I'll say that he's being truthful and honest in everything he's saying. As for another very interesting thing I thought that he said is when he regarded and talked about how even though he's leaving, he'd always watch PSG games, so on and so forth. I thought it very interesting the way he used the word. He didn't say anything, oh, because it's a club that's I hold very dear to my heart. It's a club. No, he said because it's a big club. Like he basically, from that, I think what it shows is that Mbappe, PSG's not. It's not his boyhood club. It's not a club he is like going to die for. It was an opportunity that presented himself. Yes, he's Parisian. Yes, he's French, so on and so forth. He understands what it means, and I'm not denying he most definitely has an attachment and a love to the club, but it's not some a love that, for example, a Marquinhos has for PSG or a Thiago Silva or something like that. Players like that. It's more so I'm here. I'm a mercenary. I'm here, and of course, being Parisian, I respect and I understand what everything. What PSG means to France, French football as a whole, and everything, obviously what it means to his career and whatnot, and he understands all that. But he's not also going. He shows enough of emotion to, I guess, show that he's really passionate about it. So I don't know. I think those are the two main things I when I watched them, I thought really were quite interesting. Also, the timing of the video. Obviously, he's released it now after PSG got knocked out of the Champions League. I'm sure that ideally for him, he would have wanted to go to do so perhaps in a final, in the Champions League final at Wembley, announce it then at the biggest stage. So it's probably because you can tell from the video that he's recorded it certainly within the loss and that whatnot, because he's talking about how there's still one trophy to play and that how his last game is on Sunday. So you can definitely tell that it's a recent, I don't know, it's recent in how when it was all recorded. As for the interesting bit the bit that I'm particularly interested in is how the reception that he's going to get from the PSG fans. And more specifically, just because of basically the fact that the final game is on Sunday. He's not leaving on what's the word I'm looking for? He's not going through. He's basically not leaving as a hero. All right, he's leaving with certainly a lot of baggage, and so I don't know. I'm going to be very interested to see because on Sunday what type of reception he gets at the Parc des Princes. If PSG fans are going to celebrate him, there's a potential he might get booed there. I'm very interested to see how things are going to pan out. I really am. Things could very quickly take a turn for the worse, or everything could go smoothly and you could have a good reception and things progress as they normally should and would. But yeah, that's, I guess, my general shorthand on it. It's as expected. Nothing's new here. But the thing that I'm really interested to see is the reception he's going to get for the final home game. Because I think, unfortunately, there's a potential that certainly a lot of the fans could go and boo him off there. So I'm going to be really interested to see everything that's going to go and happen. But yeah, there you go. That's my little monologue on it. Mbappé is officially announced that he's not extending his contract. And I'm sure now that it's imminent that he'll be announcing to the world that he will be joining Real Madrid Los Blancos. All right, now I guess with all that said, I'll go and answer a couple of the questions now. Being I guess a PSG fan, I'm sure people have quite a few questions. I'll make sure to dart around also on TikTok and see what other people have to say there as well. Yes. Hold on. Junior, is he a club legend for you? For me, I would say so. I think from the moment you were part of some of the most successful years in the club's history, bringing the club to 3 Champions League finals, whereas before then they'd never been to a Champions League final in the common era of the Champions League, had been to European finals previously, but never a Champions League final. Being there to get us to the final itself in 2020, being the club's top scorer, scoring important goals for the club, giving many emotions, so on and so forth. For me personally, I think he has to go down as a club legend. Many people within PSG circles and PSG fans will go out and argue or say that they don't feel like he's a PSG legend. They will obviously concede that he's certainly a part of the history of PSG, but would not classify him as a PSG legend. I find that very difficult to argue for. Now, what number, whether he's number 1, 2, so on and so forth, we can make an argument for. I think certainly he's definitely up there for me. Whether I'd put him as my number 1, I'm not sure. Just because, and that's where I think his legacy is certainly going to go and take take the biggest brunt, is sort of how he treated the club and how he sort of used the club for his own personal gain. And obviously players do that all the time, but specifically the antics that he had, this will we, won't we, all the drama behind and everything that he's had, I think certainly tarnishes his legacy. And it'll be interesting to see how perhaps over the years, maybe people look back at it more fondly. But certainly for now, I think that he's not leaving at the best moment. I think if he left in 2020, I think that would have been for him, for the PR, for the legacy. I think it would have done him a lot more good than him leave under the circumstances that he's leaving now. But that's just my opinion. That's my view on it. Junior, is he a top 5 legend? I would personally say so. So I mean, in no particular order, my PSG legends. I'd have people, and this is me being a 2010s PSG supporter, so I'm not going to have any older players and whatnot. They were just before my time, so people like 𝐻𝙬, 𝙬𝙬, 𝙬𝙬, those players were all before my time. So players that I watched and grew up watching, I'd say people like Zlatan. I would say people like Thiago Silva. I'd also, for me, I put Marquinhos for me is up there. That's 3 already. Mbappe I would put in there. And then who else? Who have I not said? Someone like Matuidi as well. Those would be people. Cavani, yeah. 𝐎𝐅𝐅𝐈𝐂𝐈𝐂𝐼𝐂𝐿𝐼, Cavani, Marquinhos, Thiago Silva, maybe. Yeah, I think that's broadly my list. Yeah, that I have. Imagine begging for him. Verratti's actually no. See, that's the thing. I'm not sure. Tough. I think I would have to put Verratti up there. So for me, for sure, Thiago Silva has to be there. For sure, 𝐎𝐅𝐼𝐂𝐈𝐂𝐼𝐂𝐼. Thiago Silva, Marquinhos for me is up there. Those 3 without a shadow of a doubt. Verratti, yeah, I'd probably put him. And then but yeah, maybe Mbappe at number 3. I think Mbappe edges out Neymar just because there's the fact he's French, he was there longer. But yeah, I think Mbappe just about cracks for now, at least for now. Maybe I'll look back at it over the years and my opinion on it will change, or he might fall down. But for now, I think he's just ever so slightly nudges it into the top 10. But again, like everything else, I don't have it in particular order as per se. But for me, the reason why those players go ahead of him is just simply because of the antics. If Mbappe hadn't had the antics, Mbappe would have been, I think, without, even if he's unable to deliver a Champions League. Like the thing is, Mbappe had everything there to have all the storytelling, everything there to go down as a bona fide club legend. He's Parisian. He came in young. He helped PSG get to its first Champions League final. He's the all-time top goal scorer in the Champions League, in the league, everywhere, whatever aspect of the club you may have. He's a French captain. Obviously, I mentioned he's from Paris, this and the other. So he had everything there, yet he's leaving, and most PSG fans, at least, will have him their last impression of him. The 2 games, the Champions League games, will not be a positive one. And I think a lot of that, and with his antics as well, I think has a huge burden of responsibility there. And I'd say for the most part, I think he bears a lot of that with his antics and whatnot. But I'm not going to also go and say that with everything that's happened and all that's transpired, so on and so forth, that he's is not a club legend or this, that, and the other. But yeah. It doesn't matter if the fans boo him, lol. I mean, I'm not sure if they will boo him on Sunday. I think it's a possibility. I'd hope they don't. I think, like, regardless of how you, as a PSG fan, I'd say even regardless of how you feel on him, I think there's a difference between not celebrating him and not cheering and whatnot and going to booing him. Like, if you go there and you don't celebrate, you don't clap because you feel like he's disgraced the club and he's tarnished the legacy in the name of PSG, fine. But to then go and to boo him, I think I said the same thing with Messi. Even though I can understand why they're going and do so, I don't think that I don't know. I think as a supporter, I think your number one duty is you're supposed to support your players, regardless of sort of what they do. And if you're not happy, you don't do anything. I think going and booing them, I don't know, I think it's counterproductive. That's just my opinion on the matter. That's my opinion. At least we can improve on Ramos, Koulibaly. They've got good potential. Yeah, certainly. I don't know. It's going to be difficult with Koulibaly. I'm not sure if you give him more time. I want to be gracious towards him and just say give him more time in that he needs to he needs to find more confidence. I think there certainly is a player in there. We didn't pay, at least I would hope so, that we're not paying 80 million for nothing. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting what players they decide to come in to bring in. I think the one thing I really hope is that they don't try to go for another mega superstar, this, that, and the other. I think now we've got a good core of players, and now it's just about building upon everything that we've got and not going in and splashing, 200 million on trying to find the next Mbappe. I think it's, you have a good squad around you. People like Xavi Simons, hopefully, again, with him, there's a lot of, uncertainty whether or not he's going to be at PSG next season, but we'll see. We will have to wait and see. All right, let me look at some of the questions I've got here on TikTok. Say, how's it going? Fine. We look on the upside. The thing is that nothing's happened, anything new. Everybody knew that he was leaving. It's been now a couple of days now since the Dortmund loss. So at this point, it was really a matter of when would he announce it. I thought perhaps that he was going to announce it at the Parc des Princes, ideally after a win or something, announce his departure. But now, we'll have to wait and see. I think now it's going to be interesting to see if perhaps Mbappe's maybe he's thinking, should I have announced it earlier? I don't know. It's interesting to see, because I feel like maybe if he'd announced it earlier when all these rumors were going around that he was not going to sign, at least it's clear, it's set in stone. But now that he's left, and it's not, because basically the moment that Mbappe doesn't announce that he's leaving, when all these rumors were circulating and things are basically concrete that he's going to leave, basically now the only way that he can go and sort of, what's the word I'm looking for, salvage his legacy, his final legacy at PSG, was to basically go and win the Champions League. And as long as you're not able to do that, it's complicated. It's complicated. If he'd announced that he was not going to sign back in February when all these things were going on, at least we'd be 3 months removed now. We finish, but at that point, what's done is done, and we give him his ovation, his ceremony, this and the other, yada yada yada. But it is what it is. This is what he decided to do, and it's gonna be interesting to see what the consequences and the ramifications of everything that happens are. How did you become a PSG fan? Wait, why did you become a PSG fan, and how? Well, the why is that being born just outside of Paris, being French, and also being a French Canadian living in Canada, not having many resources to watch French football. The only real French team that I could watch play on a consistent basis was PSG, because they were in the Champions League. And also the fact that, again, as I said, I'm French, certainly made it that well. There's a French team that I like, that I can see play at the highest caliber of European football. And so slowly by bit, you start watching games in the Champions League, then you start watching league games, and you go through the highs and the lows, and bish bash bosh, Papa's your uncle. That's how I became a PSG supporter. Mbappe leaving, and if PSG cover Mbappe's departure with Cava and Xavi Simons, would you say that would be a successful transfer window? Well, we'd see. The thing is, obviously initially you'd say that it's not bad, but if they go and they turn out to be flops next season, that's the thing. All these things, it's with the benefit of hindsight that you go and see. Take Koulibaly, for example. Most people last season, or not everybody, but a lot of people within the PSG camp would have said that signing him was a great deal of business. And then, now all of a sudden, you go from that to he's not even starting in. Well, I guess he did come on in the first leg against Dortmund, but I think most people now would say that it's not been a good transfer, at least thus far. It doesn't mean it's going to stay that way, but certainly for the immediate future, it's not looking good on his part. So, Cava, I wouldn't mind him. I think I really do want Xavi Simons, and especially now that you already signed him. The thing that worries me now is that there's rumors that he doesn't want to come, so on and so forth. I haven't read into them all that much, so I can't go on and say attest too much to the validity of all these statements and whatnot. But yeah, was Mbappe's time at PSG successful? I'd say so. Yeah, I'd say so still. Obviously, him coming from Monaco, he was already quite well known. It's not like he came in and was some random no shot. Like he had the potential there already. He was already started or making his inroads into being a bona fide starter for the French national team. But I don't think many people would have perhaps expected his meteoric rise to superstardom at PSG, and as quickly as he did. And he did, under that era, he did usher PSG and give PSG three Champions League semifinals, a Champions League final, which is the first in their history. So I'd say that, yeah, it's certainly been successful. Junior, who will win? Borussia Dortmund or Real Madrid? I think Real Madrid is going to win. I think it's done. I don't think they've lost a European final since what, like the 1980s. And I think also they're probably the better team. I'll be rooting for Dortmund, obviously, but I think like my heart says Dortmund can do a miracle and save football, but my head says no, Real Madrid's got this in the bag, unfortunately. Are you streaming on Twitch? I am indeed. And if you guys could make your way there, the thing is, I'm trying to get to Twitch affiliate. And so if you guys could go to Twitch, that'd be very much appreciated. You know what? I'll give a little incentive. If you go to Twitch, I'll be more likely to go and respond and put your comment up on display it down there. So yeah. What's your Twitch? It is it's in the description. But it's just my name. So 𝐻�10𝙎𝘾𝘼𝙎𝑎𝑏assi. Let me actually go and put it in the chat. Where is it? There you go. All right, there's my Twitch. And there's my Twitch. There you go. Junior, do you think Vitinha or 𝐎𝐅𝐼𝐂𝐈𝐂𝐼𝐿 could be the future club legends? Maybe. I know it's a difficult question, but what's your opinion? I think certainly they have the potential. I think 𝐎𝐅𝐼𝐂𝐈𝐂𝐈𝐿 a lot. He's from Paris. He said that he's shown that he'd be really willing to stay at to remain for the remainder of his career at PSG. And so if he goes and says that, I think he certainly has the potential of becoming a PSG legend. Vitinha, we'll see. If he goes and spends a long time at the club, I certainly think he does. I think he's already endeared himself to the fans. He's learned the language really quickly. Some people want to say, oh, why does that matter, so on and so forth. But I think especially for Parisians and French people, having a player who shows and actually cares and integrates himself into the culture is something that they take pride in. And even for me, I think that, yeah, if you have one of the big critiques people had towards Neymar was that, like, he went for all the time that he spent at PSG, he could understand French and speak it a bit, but still couldn't speak it. Whereas Vitinha, within like a couple months, was already speaking. Hi, why did you start supporting PSG? As I said before, it's because being French and growing up in Canada, it was really difficult to watch French leagues. And also the fact that I was born in Paris also certainly helped. Yeah, so being French, being born just outside of Paris, there's a Parisian team, and so just naturally, that's how I got to support it. I think I've got a more legitimate claim than many people, being the fact that I was born just outside of Paris. But I don't think it's all that deep whether or not how you decide to support it. The fact is, I started supporting a team. The players at the time was Zlatan, that Zlatan era, liked it, and yeah, that's how I became a supporter. He's finally leaving. Well, I think it's been known for quite a while now that he was going to leave. It's just that it hadn't been, he hadn't said it officially. Everybody knew. He'd announced it to the players within the squad that he was leaving. Lucho had already mentioned it, basically. So it wasn't a surprise to anybody here. It's just that he hadn't announced it himself, his camp. Junior, it looks weird seeing me without a membership, doesn't it? Yeah, I guess it does. Yeah. I'll be when I don't know. I've still got 5 memberships to give out for the month of May. I think I'll do that perhaps on Premier League deadline, the final day of the Premier League, just because you gotta save them and whatnot. But yeah, I'll certainly be dishing those out in due time. Do you think 𝐻𝐼𝐾 will leave Napoli this summer? I think without a shadow of a doubt. I think he's leaving with the things that the problems he's had with Napoli already. I certainly do think that that I think he's done now. Where he's gonna go, I don't know. PSG were interested at one point. I don't know if they still are. We'll just have to wait and see. All right, I'm prioritizing, as I said, Twitch comments. So if you guys want to have a better chance of having your comments pop up on stream, make sure to go to follow me on Twitch. Would you take close or bombing at PSG? Obviously not likely, but I think that they are quality on their day, having watched a lot of Marseille Europa games this season, a few league games. I don't know if I'd take Aubameyang necessarily. I mean, unless you're in like a real big pinch. Close, I'd be a lot more interested in. It depends on what happens to Hakimi. His future is pretty uncertain as well. There's been rumors that he wants to go to Real Madrid and follow in his friend's footsteps in Kylian. So we'll see. But honestly, probably wouldn't really take either of them, to be completely honest with you. Junior's BVB a top 5 team right now? I probably still wouldn't say so. I guess it depends how you want to argue it. I guess they're in a Champions League final, so you can say they're certainly up there. But again, I always say that the best team, the team that wins the Champions League is not necessarily the best team in the world. I'd probably still argue that City are probably the best team in the world, even though they lost to Real Madrid. But like it's the same thing with World Cups and whatnot. The best way I would say to determine who's the best team truly is to have a league format. But you can't always have that, and the Champions League and the World Cup and tournaments as they are, they certainly whatchamacallit, they don't offer that. So yeah. All right, let me go see here. What's the next Twitch comment here that I got? Who would you sign for PSG this summer? Players that I really want, I guess 𝙬𝙬 Simmons, I want him back. I want him to, I guess, sort of be the face of this new PSG era. Him, 𝐻𝙬𝙬, people like Barcola, a younger squad, a squad that's more eager to press, a squad that's going to put their ego aside and truly fight for the badge. So I'd really like 𝙬𝙬 Simmons, even though, as I said earlier, his future or everything that's happening with him at PSG is sort of up in the air for the time being. But I think PSG certainly need like a couple world-class midfielders. So I'd say, like, for me, Bernardo Silva, I'd really like him. I'd also really like someone like a 𝙎𝙬𝘾 𝐼𝐾, his contract uncertainty at Bayern. So those two players for me right now, having not thought about it too much, would be the two players I'd really want to see at the club. All right. Do you think 𝐻𝐼𝐾 will fit PSG better than Leao? The thing is, if you bring a Leao, he's sort of going to be competing or playing the same position with Barcola. And I don't know. Initially, I've really flip-flopped on Leao. At points, I've said I really want him. At points, I've said, no, I don't want him. I don't know. I feel like he's a bit too inconsistent. That's my only thing. And if you're going to go and splash over 100 mil on him, I want almost like on a guarantee, a player who's done it bona fide at the biggest stage. Not to say, obviously, playing for AC Milan is certainly big. But yeah, that's my view on it. Where do you think 𝐻𝐼𝐾 will go? I think most likely to some Premier League team. I don't know what Premier League teams are really interested. Maybe a United. I guess United just signed 𝙬𝙗𝙗. I don't know. I'll see. I think perhaps an Arsenal. It really will depend. But I think most likely destination is the Premier League. Rodrigo or Yamal in terms of Bengali? Huh? I don't get. I mean, like, who looks the most? Is that what you're saying? Well, I mean, neither of them. Yamal is Moroccan, has Moroccan and Spanish origin, and Rodrigo is Brazilian. So, at least as far as I'm aware. Junior will Mbappé flop at Madrid? I don't think so. I think he'll be successful. How successful he'll be, we'll have to wait and see. But I certainly think he'll do well. I wish him individually the best. For I like, as I said before, I hope he scores hat tricks every single game. I hope he wins the Puchichi, all these things, and I hope Real Madrid get relegated anyways. All right, I still need him in good spirits for the French national team. So for him, I wish him the best personally. I just hope that doesn't come that doesn't come at the expense of Real Madrid doing well. A big thing, I think Atalanta had a good run, arriving Coppa Italia final and in Europa League final. I think they can take on Leverkusen. They have a good attack. It'll less on defense. What do you think? I mean, I've really not been watching Atalanta, but I mean, yeah, certainly they've been underdogs. Final of the Coppa Italia, final of the Europa League. That's by all means, by all qualifications, it's a good season. I don't think they'll be able to do it against Leverkusen. I think Leverkusen are just too hot right now. But certainly they've had a really good season, by all means, yeah. Mbappe still without a UCL, and Ballon d'Or is crazy. I mean, I think this season he still has well within the potential of him winning a Ballon d'Or, depending on now that he's out with PSG. If he'd made it to the final, I think I'd have him even further ahead. But now that if he goes and has a good Euros with France, obviously he's going to join Real Madrid. So long as like basically Bellingham and Vinny don't go and basically win Copa America and in the years respectively, I think Mbappe is, I would say personally right now, certainly a candidate favorite to win the whole thing. But again, it's still pretty early on to go and tell. There's still huge international competitions and international tournaments to come, and so you can't. I think it's just a bit too early to tell. All right, what are the next? As I said before, I'm prioritizing Twitch comments because I'm trying to get to Twitch affiliate on Twitch. So if you guys want to an increased likelihood of having your comments appear, make sure to find your way to Twitch. Right. As a Madrid fan, I still won't believe he's coming until Madrid themselves post it. I don't even trust Fabrizio. Yeah, I mean that's been my sentiment on Mbappe leaving PSG. I would never believe it until he himself came out that he said. Now, obviously, now he said it, and even before then, obviously with when this stuff was coming, I think it was done. But with the twists and turns and everything, I think now it's a matter of a formality as to when he goes and he decides to sign for Real. Verts to PSG. That's actually a good shout. The thing is, though, I don't know how much it's going to cost. But certainly, I actually wouldn't mind that. That's actually a good shout. I think I thought about it before, but I've never. Not recently though. Not recently. All right. My problem with Mbappe is his ego. Yeah, same thing too. Like if Mbappe like toned down his ego and had a normal footballing ego, he'd be a PSG legend without a shadow of a doubt. But the fact that his ego and his drama and his persona and whatnot has certainly caused his stock to fall within the PSG fan base. All right. Who's winning the UEFA Conference League? Fiorentina. Who beat Bruges 4-3 or Olympiacos that eliminated the Giants of the competition, Aston Villa? I didn't even know that Aston Villa got eliminated them, but I haven't been watching either of the teams, so I really don't know. I have no skin in the game. I'm really neutral on that aspect. If everyone is fit, who would you start for France at the Euros? Well, the thing is, now that there's the fact that 𝙀𝙗𝐼𝐾 is injured, so I don't know. I'd say so. Mike Maignan in goal. Hernandez is injured now, so I'd have. Dang, that's rough. I don't even know who'd be my starting center backs. All the French center backs have not been playing well as of late. So I'd still put Saliba there. I still think that he's if he can do it, there's still a player in there. I put Saliba there. Upamecano's not been great. Konate maybe. He's not been great either. Right back, probably Pavard. Left back, Theo Hernandez. In the midfield, depending on who's fit, the ideal midfield, I would say, is 𝙀𝙗𝐼𝐾, 𝙀𝙗𝐼𝐾, Rabiot, and Griezmann. And up front, I'd have Mbappe on the left. Who goes in the middle? That's actually interesting. Dembele on the right, and probably Giroud. But I don't know if he's actually going to. I think he will get called up. I'd probably Giroud through the middle. Him or Thuram, I think, are most likely. But I'd probably want Giroud. right. Okay, let me buy one, sell one. What player are you buying? And what player are you selling from your team? Has to be the first team player. Okay. Sell. Well, it's between, for me, Carlos Soler gone. Leave. Like be gone with the club. And buy. I'd probably say Bernardo Silva, I think, is the player I'd want to buy as a priority. Who do you think will lose the Euros final to France? Well, I mean, listen, I'm not all that confident, not gonna lie. Like with France is not going into the Euros on high confidence. They lost to Germany twice. Beat Chile, not in the most convincing of manners. So, yeah, I can't go and say that. Like, France are probably still favorites, but like France need to be watch out because there's Germany, Loki can be underdogs. England, obviously, Spain could have something to say there. Portugal as well. So, I think these Euros are going to be a lot tighter than people perhaps first had imagined. Would you prefer 𝙎𝙊𝘿𝑻𝐾𝐻 or 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝐼𝐂𝐈𝐂𝐻 to come in? Maybe 𝙎𝙊𝘿𝑻𝐾𝐻 just because I mean he's already played in French football, speaks the language, but it's by much and has already I think been at the elite of professional football for longer, but it's not by much. So yeah, but I do also 𝙬𝙬𝐾𝐻 is probably a lot cheaper, so I don't know. Hot take, versus top 5 player in the world better than Haaland. Like if you're talking right now, current form, I mean maybe. But overall, I still think Haaland is one of the best. I think France will win the Euros. I mean, I think they're certainly I won't go and say absolutes now, to not look like a clown afterwards, but I certainly think France are favorites to go on and win it. Here's how many people are watching here. Holy smokes, 225 people on the vertical one. And how many people? 20 people. Interesting. But as I said again, if you guys want to have your questions answered, make sure to go make your way over to my Twitch, where I'm prioritizing people's comments there. How well do you think Scotland will do at the Euros? I have no idea. I don't think they crashed out. I mean, they did okay last time. They obviously had huge results beating Spain. I think they can do well. I think maybe scrape I think it's actually no, the Euros, the format of it is the best third place teams go through. I think Scotland will probably go through as one of the best third place teams, but I have to look through what group they're in. So before I can give something concretely. Do you think Bayern were robbed? I think, and let me make this very clear. I think Bayern were robbed of an equalizer. I don't think they were robbed of the entire game, like overall. There's no guarantee that number one that Bayern would have gone on to win. I think most likely they probably would have scored from that action, but I don't think they absolutely were robbed of the victory. All right, hold on. Honestly, Italy shouldn't be left down the radar. They are doing with the Tugi in attack, and they've been doing good. I've not been keeping up with Italian national football, so I don't know. But I just think that these Euros are going to be a lot closer than people perhaps had initially. Because I remember last Euros, France were pretty clear favorites to go and win it, and their first game against Germany had people already basically counting them champions, and look what happened. So this time around I'm going to be a lot more cautious. I think France are probably favorites, but I'm not nearly as optimistic as most people. Il va pas la chercher. Il va pas la chercher. Yeah, but just as a general question, has everybody here watched Mbappe's because we've veered off now, but has everybody already watched Mbappe's basic announcement video? I've already gone. I went through it early on in the stream, but if you guys wanted to, I could go through it again. Yes. Why is he speaking like a political figure? I mean, it's a very PR answer. I mean, it's very safe. There's not much drama there. There's the two things I addressed. But yeah, I'll go through it again. I'll go through it again. I haven't seen it yet. Okay. Well, now that there's a lot more people here now. Once again, as I said before, if you guys do want a higher likelihood of having your comments seen or appear, go to Twitch. I'm prioritizing views there just because I'm trying to get the Twitch affiliate. So if you guys could help me on that one, it'd be very greatly appreciated. But with that, I guess I'll go through the video once more. Love the music. Where did you get it from? It literally comes. Well, I can show you what it is. It's just a playlist that I've got called from Stream Beats by 𝐻�10 So it's literally just this. It's a playlist here, Stream Beats by 𝐻�10, and it's just some lo-fi music thing here. Stream Beats lo-fi right here. I mean, if you want, I can put it in the chat if you guys really are interested. Share, copy. There you go. Like, it's just general lo-fi music. It's non-copyright claims. So, yeah. There you go. And then I'll put it in the Twitch chat. There you go. There you go. All right. Okay. We'll go through the video once more. I'll pause it this time around. So whenever he says something actually interesting. Yeah. All right. Let's go.
Salut à tous.
Let me just verify. I just want to verify that you can. Let me check that you guys can actually hear what he's saying. Okay, you guys can. Okay, let's go.
Salut à tous, c'est 𝐎𝐼𝐿. Voilà, je voulais m'adresser à vous. Depuis le temps, j'avais toujours dit que j'allais m'adresser à vous quand le moment serait venu. Et donc, je voulais vous annoncer à tous que voilà, c'est ma dernière année au Paris Saint-Germain. Je ne vais pas prolonger et je vais terminer mon aventure dans quelques semaines. Je vais jouer mon dernier match au Parc des Princes dimanche.
Well, right from there, he's basically, the fact that he said that, I'm playing my last time Sunday, it means that he's recorded this fairly recently. How recent? I guess I don't know, but certainly within, ever since the loss to Dortmund, for sure.
Beaucoup d'émotions, beaucoup d'années où j'ai eu la chance et l'immense honneur de faire partie du plus grand club de France, l'un des meilleurs du monde, qui m'a permis d'arriver ici, de connaître ma première expérience dans un club avec beaucoup de pression, de grandir comme joueur, bien sûr, en côtoyant certains qui étaient les meilleurs de l'histoire, certains des grands champions, de côtoyer pas mal de gens, de grandir en tant qu'homme aussi, avec toute la gloire et les erreurs que j'ai pu faire. Je voudrais remercier tout d'abord, bien sûr, les coéquipiers, l'ensemble des coéquipiers que j'ai eus, l'ensemble des entraîneurs, Unai Emery, Thomas Tuchel, Mauricio Pochettino, Christophe Galtier et Luis Enrique, les directeurs sportifs.
You know, I'd be really curious to say, he's saying there all the managers that he's had at the time. So he's had Unai Emery, Thomas Tuchel, Mauricio Pochettino, Christophe Galtier, and Lucho. And I'd be curious to see who was his favorite. I think it was Mauricio Pochettino. I think that he got along really well with him. And I think he quite enjoyed him. But I'd be curious to see what his answer is. And the one he disliked the most, probably Lucho, not gonna lie. Like, they seem to butt heads quite a bit. Obviously this season and everything that transpired, but yeah.
Leonardo et Luis Campos, de m'avoir toujours accompagné. L'ensemble des gens au club, ceux que les gens ne voient pas, les gens de l'ombre, que ce soit les kinés, les intendants, les gens de la performance, tous les gens dans les bureaux, campus, tout le monde. Parce que voilà, il y a des personnes qui sont formidables, qui donnent tout pour le club et elles méritent d'avoir cette reconnaissance. Malgré tout ce qui peut se passer en dehors, tout ce nuage médiatique qui entoure parfois le club, il y a vraiment des amoureux du club qui veulent défendre et faire briller ce club et ça fait plaisir. Et je sais qu'avec toutes ces personnes, ce club il est entre de bonnes mains. C'est difficile. Je ne pensais pas que ça allait être aussi dur d'annoncer ça, de quitter mon pays, la France, la Ligue 1, un championnat que j'ai toujours connu. Mais je pense que j'avais besoin de ça, un nouveau challenge après 7 années.
You see, it's interesting there. And him saying that he's, he never thought that he'd have to leave, France and whatnot. He's never actually mentioning the club. He's more so saying, yeah, it's like, I feel like, because Mbappe, obviously for France and whatnot, what he means to French football and whatnot, he's more so, he's a huge figure, what's the word I'm looking for? He's basically like a figurehead of French football. And so he's seeing it more in the sense of, I'm leaving my country, this, that, and the other. I'm leaving La Ligue 1 and so on and so forth. But never, I'm leaving PSG, I'm leaving this historic club explicitly. And I find that pretty interesting. Anyways, let him continue.
Et bien sûr, il y a des gens que je voudrais remercier par-dessus tout, c'est les supporters. Je sais que je ne suis pas le joueur le plus démonstratif. Je n'ai pas toujours été à la hauteur de l'amour que vous m'avez donné pendant 7 ans, mais je n'ai jamais voulu tricher. J'ai toujours voulu être performant.
Interesting that he'd admit it. That he'd admit basically saying that he's never been the most emotive player, most passionate player, so to speak, and that at times he's been unworthy of the love and support that he gets from the fans. I find that, I have to clap and award him for saying that. I wouldn't have thought that he would have said that with his ego and whatnot, but that's interesting. So respect for that.
Le PSG, c'est un club qui laisse personne indifférent. On peut aimer ou on peut détester. Moi, j'ai choisi de l'aimer.
That's a hot take. That's a hot take. I decided to love PSG. That's interesting. That is interesting. I mean, okay, I'll believe him. I think he's sincere in what he's saying here. I think he does like the club. I think the club certainly holds a place in his heart. How much? That's a different question. That's a very different question. I don't think it's his priority. I don't think it's his number one clubs out there without a shadow of a doubt. Otherwise, he wouldn't have done a lot of the stuff that he did. But I think certainly he has had an attachment, and it has grown over the years. I don't think I can deny him that for sure. But let's continue.
Et je l'ai fait pendant 7 ans, avec des hauts et des bas bien sûr, mais à aucun moment je regrette d'avoir signé dans ce club prestigieux. C'est un club que je vais garder dans ma mémoire toute ma vie. Je dirai à tout le monde toute ma vie que j'ai eu la chance de jouer ici. Et maintenant, je ne serai plus un joueur et je vais continuer à regarder tous les matchs bien sûr, parce que c'est un club qui va toujours m'intéresser. Et je vais...
There you go. That's okay. You see, this is where I'm going, and it's tough for him to go and say that he really loves the club, because he goes and says, I'm always going to be watching PSG games, and this is because that I will always be interested in it. Basically saying he's saying that PSG is always going to be a club that he's interested in. I don't know. Maybe it's the way he's worded it. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm looking at too far into it. But I feel like here, this is the perfect moment. He's saying PSG is always going to be a club that holds a special place in my heart. Even if you're going to say it's not like my favorite club, saying a club it's that I'm always interested in. I'm interested in flipping Real Madrid. All right, I don't support Real Madrid. I don't really like Real Madrid or Barca, same, so on and so forth. But it's a club that I'm interested in and I follow on a semi-regular basis. But I don't know. I find that really interesting. I think here, this is his moment, and I think perhaps more PSG fan would go and say, okay, bud, like for all that talk, everything that bro used AI, that's crazy. But like, hold on, let me play it again. Okay, I want to read the subtitles instead, because I've been listening to what he said, and because hold on.
C'est un club qui
All right, let's go back.
continue à regarder tous les matchs, bien sûr, parce que c'est
because it's a club
qui
that
toujours m'intéresser et je vais toujours m'intéresser de près à l'actualité du club.
All right, no, there's no way. I heard it correctly. The way he said it, the way he phrased it in French is basically saying sort of what the subtitle said, in that he's always going to watch and follow up what's going on with PSG, because it's a club that he's interested in. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's that could be the final spot for many PSG fans. Like, I don't know why. What's preventing him from saying that it's a club that I'm always going to hold dear in my heart, or something like that. Simply going and saying that it's a club that I'm always going to be interested in. I don't know. Kind of shows that yes, he's almost like a mercenary. I came here to do a job. The club benefited me. We had a mutual agreement. That mutual agreement's done now, and now we're going to go and leave. Because yeah. I don't know. Because even when people like 𝙀𝙁Silva left and so on and so forth, he's like, PSG's always going to have a special place in my heart. Doesn't say any of that. I don't know. Like him saying it's a club that I'm interested in. You can be interested in several clubs. I don't feel like that's as much. All right, well, let's finish this last bit.
C'était moi, avec mes qualités et mes défauts, mais j'ai essayé de donner la meilleure version de moi-même pendant ces 7 ans. Mais avant tout, je veux vous dire merci, parce que sans vous, j'aurais pas pu vivre la moitié de toutes les émotions que j'ai vécues. Et juste pour ça, je suis reconnaissant à vie. Donc, merci à tous. J'espère qu'on va finir cette année avec un dernier trophée. On va passer des bons moments pour ce qui reste. Mais sachez que vous resterez pour mon cœur pour la vie. Ici, c'est Paris et au revoir.
That's it. That is it. All right, we've gone through it twice. Well, this is the 3rd time I'm seeing it now. And, I mean, I don't know. My thoughts on it are the same as they were before. I want to see if PSG have said anything officially on it. Let me pull up Instagram here. All right, here's my Instagram. This is, when was this? Whew. The new PSG kit. All right, let's see. Is this just him posting what he had? Yeah. As expected. All right. Les mots de Kylian Mbappé face aux Ultras. Qu'ici, on va... Autre jour, je voulais vous remercier. Ce n'est pas encore terminé parce qu'il y a encore une finale de Coupe de France. C'était important de vous remercier pour tout ce que vous avez fait pour moi et ma famille. Pour ma famille, pas seulement pour le côté sportif, mais aussi pour le côté humain. C'est important pour moi de revenir ici à Paris, de grandir en tant que joueur et aussi en tant qu'homme. Les souvenirs que je garde avec les joueurs, c'est plus que des souvenirs humains. Les émotions de toutes les ambiances, ce sont les choses que je veux retenir plus qu'un but. J'ai eu la chance de faire la partie de ce club. Je pense que les gens ne réalisent pas trop ce que fait un joueur au PSG. Pendant 7 ans, j'ai eu la chance de savourer chaque instant, les bons moments, parce que c'est plus facile, mais aussi les mauvais. Il y a toujours cette fierté. Je voudrais vous dire merci, aussi vous dire bonne chance. Vous souhaitez le meilleur pour tout ce qui va arriver, pour vous et pour vos familles. Qui sait, on va peut-être on va peut-être se revoir un jour. Mais tout ça, merci beaucoup. Okay, that's interesting. His last bit there. Okay, at the last bit here where he says, hold on, let me see if you guys can actually Okay, hold on. This bit here where he says, qui sait, on va peut-être se revoir un jour. Maybe someday we'll see each other again. Let's see what does the Instagram say? Yeah, maybe someday we'll see we'll meet again. Interesting. Kylian never changed Parisien. That's crazy. Oh la 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 la. I mean, I don't think PSG have said anything explicitly. There's his video there. These are the new PSG kits. I don't know. I quite like them. I think these are pretty good. I think it's an upgrade from this year's kit. What do you guys think of these new kits? Good, bad, somewhere in the middle? How does everybody feel about them? What's this? Cet immense nombre de supporters du PSG ne reviendra pas au club. Prêté au bout de ses droits jusqu'en 2000. Le joueur ne sera pas motivé à l'idée de revenir au club. Selon Paris négocie pour un transfert définitif, mais les montants ne sont pas what. Le joueur était vivement souhaité par 𝙀𝙢𝙖𝙞𝙀𝙀, mais cela n'a pas suffi pour pencher la balance. Waouh! Restez à savoir comment le PSG pourra récupérer de ce gros transfert et comment il sera repensé en plus du départ acté de Kylian Mbappé. That's crazy. So Xavi Simons does not want to come back to PSG. Oh, that's unfortunate. I mean, it's nothing's official, and basically they're looking to. Let me just translate it. No, you can't translate it. I should be able to. Yeah, I can. Wow. I mean, the good thing, at least for PSG, though, is that they'll certainly make quite a bit of money on his transfer. So we'll have a lot of money to go and spend. But I would have wanted him. I would have seen him in our project. I don't think PSG have said anything official. Yeah, PSG. Kylian Mbappé annonce qu'il quittera le Paris Saint-Germain. All right, let me look at some of the questions again. Bro owns ChatGPT. That must have been written by AI from Mbappe. I mean, I think it's a pretty pretty bog standard response and everything, but I think it was honest. I think he's just not one to he's not gonna go and say anything too scandalous. I think it's a pretty standard response overall. But what I'm interested in seeing now is they haven't said anything about Mbappe here. So yeah, nothing explicit yet. This is just the goal of the month. What is this? Oh yeah, I've already seen this. The team of the season. Dembele's in it. This is our women's captain. Donnarumma's in it. 𝐻𝙪𝙆, Mbappe's obviously in there. He's a 97. How much is Dembele's a 96? What? Okay. Vitinha obviously is in there. And 𝐎𝐅𝐼𝐂𝐈𝐂𝐈𝐂𝐻�10 a 95. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 PSG players are in the team of the season for that's quite up for you. I'm not gonna lie. All right. All the news is out now. Here's the news that people were saying earlier, how 𝙬𝙬𝘾 could potentially be coming. Interesting. But yeah, so these are basically PSG's most likely. Victor Osimhen, Leao, 𝙬𝙬𝘾, and Bernardo Silva are their favorites. Selon l'équipe. Let me translate this for you guys. Well, PSG was kicked out of the Champions League by Borussia Dortmund a few days ago. The big maneuvers are starting. As it keeps stated in today's edition, several tracks have been activated to strengthen PSG's offensive sector this summer. 𝙀𝙁 𝙁𝘾𝑝, 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝐼𝐂𝐈𝐿𝐴𝐿𝑒𝐻, 𝙎𝙬𝑡𝑘𝐿𝑖𝐴, Bernardo Silva. Intriguing. All right. I think... What is the stat? I think this is the stat that PSG hit the woodwork the most. PSG's Champions League campaign this season has seen them denied by the woodwork 14 times, a record for any team in a single campaign since 2003-04. Unlucky. I mean, some aspect, yeah, it's unlucky, but other aspects is we couldn't finish. So it's not the time to feel sorry for ourselves here. Vitinha. Keep your head held high, King. Keep your head held high, King. But yeah. Oh, so this was today then. Oh, okay. So Mbappe actually... Hold on. You guys can't hear this. Let me... Instagram... I want to restart it. Oh, okay. This is the same video I saw before. So he actually went here today to speak with them. I'm curious to see what Ethan Mbappe is going to do. Is he going to stay at the club or is he gone? So he went to the park to speak with the ultras. Interesting. Is there anything else? No. 𝙬𝙬𝘾𝐼𝐿𝐴, priorité. What? The Chavis don't want to sell PSG this summer. Wait, hold on. Whoa. Si original, le PSG ne veut pas vendre cet été, les joueurs et le PSG décideront avant l'Euro. Un prêt avec option. Probable Barça pousse. Anywho. It is what it is at this point. All right. I think that's where I'm going to call it for today, guys. Thank you guys so much. As usual. Yeah, I guess I broke the news. Obviously, it's nothing special. Everybody knew it was just a matter of when would he announce it. It's now official. We know that Mbappe is not going to be extending for PSG. And I think now it's imminent. His arrival at Real Madrid. How it's going to break, well, we'll see. But yeah, sorry for the late notice for the live stream. I felt like I had no option. It was either I was going to do a live stream or try to get a video out. I might still do a video if you guys are interested. In fact, let me know in the chat now. As I'm looking and we're wrapping things up here. Would you guys like me to make a video again talking about the video? Yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit busy in this time, but I think I've addressed everything I wanted to address in the live stream. And yeah, I thought there were just a couple points in the video that I saw were rather quite interesting. But overall, it's done. PSG's kind of cooked now. I disagree. I don't think so. I think PSG has number one, you're getting rid of huge wages of Mbappe. You're also going to be getting wages of whatchamacallit, 𝐻𝐪𝐿𝐾𝐼𝐿𝐼 Navas is also gone. And with that money, now you can go and you can look at and buying other players. And like PSG was a big club before Mbappe got there. PSG will continue to be a big club after Mbappe leaves. So I think PSG is going to be just fine. I'm not worried one bit whatsoever. I think it's just going to be about replenishing this properly. The only thing is the goals, perhaps. But even then, if it means that PSG next season, for example, share the goals between several players, sort of like Arsenal, how they've been doing, then so be it. So yeah, that is all that I want to say. Thank you guys so much for joining the stream. As usual, it's been a pleasure as always. Thank you very much. I'll hopefully be seeing you guys, I think maybe for the Arsenal versus United game. I might stream that. Depends how I feel, if I'm tired or not. And actually now, given Mbappe's departure and whatnot, let me actually verify. I might stream PSG's final home game, which is this Sunday against Toulouse. Yeah, Sunday against Toulouse at 8. So I might do that if people are interested. I'll go through that, and that's going to be really interesting to see what kind of reception he gets for that. And so with that, thank you guys very much. And as always, remember to stay safe, stay kind, stay blessed. Godspeed. Bye.